Life was already bad to me, but then I made it extremely worse. I had a very boring life. I never took risks, always playing it safe. I'd wake up, eat, and go to my fucking job where I worked as a risk analyst. The irony. Yeah, I used to be a risk analyst. 8 hours a day, I'd sit at my desk not knowing what the hell I was doing. Time was never my friend, both the one on the wall and the one on my forehead. I had 60 more years on my time before I died. What was I supposed to be doing in the next 6 decades? I don't have any money. I'm a 35-year-old man who still has student loan to pay. No kids or spouse. And on top of all of that, I was depressed. I was sitting there thinking about my life when...
Mr. James Everett, please come to the HR's office.
I got to her office and the first thing she said to me was...
Sorry.
For what? You were letting me go. Nah, I didn't want to believe it. So I went straight to the CEO's office to ask him what I did wrong. You're making changes around here and frankly, you're not exactly fit anymore. Please sir, you know I'm still good at my job. Look, I can even do more if you want me to do more. I can even work at night. I can't just afford to lose this job. Look James, I'm sorry. Okay, no problem. Can I at least have my last paycheck? What do you mean by that? The money I worked for? I'm not giving you anything. In fact, yours for the loans you took to pay off your student debt. I'm confused. I don't get it. I remember clearly a particular day when I helped this company to get hold of a hacker who was trying to hack into the company system, and you gave me that check as a gift for my hard work. Where's the paperwork? Show me it says it was a gift. Look right there. It's all the contract. Here's your signature. So when are you paying us back? 13 years of my life I had given to this company, and this was how he paid me back. I left the company and went straight to the bar. I drank like it was my last day. I wanted to forget about my problems, but by the time I got home, my reality was staring right at me. I had nowhere to go, no one to turn to, but I still had one option left: end it all. I began to stagger to the wall. I picked up the gun, put the barrel in my mouth, hands on the trigger, and then I passed out. I woke up the next morning and I was still as motivated as ever to end it all, but something wasn't right. My time. I now had 24 hours to live. I didn't understand what was going on. I thought it was a glitch at first, but 2 hours went by and it didn't change. So I began to panic. I know I wanted to kill myself, but knowing I was inevitably going to die in less than 24 hours was fucking frightening. But it took me a lot of time to accept my fate. That's life for you. It throws wherever it wants our way, and we have no choice but to catch it. I caught mine, but I wasn't about to go down like a bitch whose life I just fucked over. I vowed to make the last hours of my life count by taking all the risks I never took and experiencing everything I ever denied myself. So I hit the road. I was heading back to the company that laid me off to teach them a lesson when I spotted a luxury car dealership event. And I was like, yeah, fuck this. Let's make some memories on the way. I crashed into the event and when I stepped out of my vehicle, they were all scared. It felt good. It felt really good to see people show any kind of emotion towards me or any kind of remorse, you know? I took what I came for and I left. I got to the firm and, my entry had to be a blast. I went straight to the CEO's office and this fucking dude was having a threesome. Ugh, disgusting son of a bitch. What are you doing? Get out or I'll call security. Guys, before I continue, I need y'all to understand that I'm not a bad person. I had to do what I had to do, and he only got what he deserved. So I punched the asshole. He immediately went down on his knees, begging for mercy. I felt pity for him. Hell, I almost cried because he was old enough to be my father. But nah, I needed to maintain my steez and look tough. So I tied him up and logged into the company's financial system, and I redirected funds to every single person the company had ever denied insurance claims since its inception 8 years ago. I didn't care if they were dead or alive. I just wanted to make the bastard feel a little bit of pain. I was still disbursing funds when the breaking news came on, and I saw myself on TV. This is the location where the car thief, James Everett, hijacked the latest Lamborghini truck during its launching. The presenter even mentioned my name, like I couldn't believe it. And just like that, I became famous for crashing into a car dealership event. I busted into laughter when the police released the bounty on my head. Maybe when I'm done with my plans, they'll triple it. But unfortunately, I'd be dead and gone. I needed to act fast. I didn't have time to go through the list and send the money one after the other. So I made sure I emptied the company's account by transferring to every single account in the database, including the employees. But before I left, I gave the CEO a telephone to call the police and tell them what I'd done. And then I went live and told the whole world my story and why I was doing what I was doing. And then I left. As soon as I stepped out of the building, hundreds of people were already outside, cheering and screaming my name. Surprisingly, they all had few hours to leave as well, and they all saw me as a hero, but what I wasn't prepared for was what happened afterward. They brought out some pretty badass weapons and they all went rogue. They began to implement all the evil things they had in mind, destroying buildings, robbing banks, committing murder, and when they were done, they'd spray my name on the scene of the crime, calling me their messiah. I never signed up for this. I didn't expect it to blow up this way. I didn't expect innocent lives to be lost all because of what I started. I didn't have nowhere to go, so I just kept staring at them. I couldn't tell them to stop because I didn't want to look like I wasn't sure of where I stood, so I kept watching them until the police came in their large numbers. To my surprise, my disciples didn't run. This was some fast five type of shit and I was no Vin Diesel, so I chickened out and I drove off. Seeing me run made some of them lose courage, so they tried to escape as well. Some stayed to fight, but the police saw them as a threat and gunned them down. All I could hear as I was speeding away were gunshots and screams, but I didn't look back. I pressed my foot on the gas and kept going. The police were getting close. The more I sped, the closer they got. I was blocked. There was no way for me to escape. In my mind, I knew it wasn't going to matter because I only had a few more minutes to leave. Wait a minute, what says my time? When I first saw it, I couldn't believe it. I had to run down the window to be sure I wasn't dreaming. My timer was no longer less than 24 hours. I had 70 more years to live. 70 more years. I realized it was truly a glitch and I should have waited longer. I was taken to court where I was sentenced to life in prison. Now I'll be spending the rest of my life in jail.